Hello friends, it's Stamp Ventures with Shauna. Welcome to my Tuesday night tutorial. I'm a little bit late. I guess it's about Tuesday tutorial at 9:12 is what I can call it tonight. I'm just getting hooked up here to my Facebook to see if there's anyone out there who's able to join us tonight. Ooh, yeah, I think I found it. And yeah, hey, give a shout, say hello if you're there, and let us know where you're from if you're out of town, and we'll get started shortly. Tonight, oh, hello to Roz. I think that's Roz from, is it Australia? Oh gee, I hope I'm thinking of the right person. And Pam from North Carolina. Hello gals. Tonight I'm going to be making a card using Tasteful Touches stamp set, some wording from Posted for You, and I'll be using this paper from the, oh shoot, In Good Taste designer paper. I just looked at the name of it. I don't know why I've got a memory block with this particular paper, but I couldn't think of the name of it, and I think it's In Good Taste. So I'll be using that and this beautiful Snowflake Splendor ribbon. I know I'm not doing anything about snowflakes today, but this ribbon has been calling to me, and I think Stampin' Up! Has already run out of it once. I've got some coming. It's on the back order, and oh boy, like I could buy it by the vat if at all possible. It's beautiful. Oh, Roz is dropping in from Florida. Hi there. Yeah, sorry, I got you mixed up with another gal. And I think I see Glenda. Hello to Glenda. And oh, you gals, you Florida and North Carolina girls know each other. That's great. Oh, also today we'll use a little bit of Wink Stella, Rococo Rose ink pad, and the Stamparatus. I recently held a class, and a couple people, we used the Stamparatus at the class, and a couple of people said, oh, I've got mine sitting there, but I kind of forget how to use it, and I need a refresher. So that's why I thought, okay, today I'll give you a refresher on the Stamparatus. So just before we get started, we have the weather word of the day, which is blowy. I have to start thinking of different ways to say windy. Blowy's not even really good here. Like our great big recycle bins, you know, like the ones that stand like, I don't know, how tall are they? Like 4.5 feet, 5 feet, no, 4.5. 4 feet, 4.5 feet tall. They were like blowing all over the roads today here in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. So yeah, it's just stupid wind. We seem to get a lot of it here in Saskatchewan. We're kind of tired of it. Oh, hello to Elaine. Glad you could drop in this evening, Elaine. Thank you. Oh, and I have a funny. I haven't shared one in a while, I don't think. This is so funny. This is hilarious. I don't know how well this is going to show up in your screen, but there's a tree, and then there's tons and tons, like I don't know, it's probably like 200 wine bottles stacked up under that tree. And like this was posted on like Facebook, and basically the caption was, "Follow me for more landscaping ideas." My sister and I are always sharing wine memes and wine jokes and all that. So I think I've got to send this one to her. I could like put it maybe in, she's gonna have an anniversary coming up. I could put it in her anniversary card for her. What's new? Just before I get started here, it's a brand new, like this really, it was crazy when I went to write the month here. I wanted to put like August, and no, it's September, Shauna. So that I had to really get my mind around that. But there are some new things happening because of the change with the month, and some of you might even be able to help remind me of some of the happenings. I'm not working from a list, I'm just working from my head, but today Stampin' Up! Updated the clearance rack, and so there were a lot of things that were like you know, $3, $4, $5, things that normally would have been $15 to $20. So really good deals. So make sure you check out the online clearance rack if you want to get in on some of those. Another thing that happened today because of the start of the new month, there is a starter kit promotion. The starter kit is always like the best bundle that you can get in the catalog. But for the month of September, they're adding on a couple things to the starter kit. A free stamp set, I believe, and some packages of cards, card supplies that you can use right away to get together and make cards with friends. So I thought that was really handy. Glenda, I'm just checking your message that's come through. I'd like to know where that tree is and if they are full. Yes, that's such a good, yeah. Oh my gosh, if that was full, that's a lot of wine. Oh boy. So, okay, the clearance rack, the starter kit special. I'm trying to think what else might have come across today that would be new or different. Oh, I know. The new embossing and die cutting and embossing machine is now available on a customer order. That's something else that's just new for the start of September here. And most of my stampers have already heard me say this, but I'll just put it out there to everyone that, you know, like here in Canada, this the Stamparatus, or not the Stamparatus, this new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine it's listed in our catalog at $163, but you don't have to pay full price for it. If you get it through the Stampin' Up! Starter Kit, which there is a special on right now with the extra goodies and stamping items with it, you can pay only $135 for the new die cutting and embossing machine, and there's no shipping on that and no GST on that. And in Saskatchewan, there's just a little bit of PST added, so it comes to like $143 or something like that. So that's a really, really good deal. So even if you don't need a machine, if you've already got one and it works great for you, that's perfect. But if you know somebody who's like, oh yeah, I've been thinking about getting one of these machines, tell them to be in touch with me. I'll explain the deal to them. They can certainly buy it as a customer if they want to, but if they want to save some money, they can get it at a good price too. Okay, so I better get started here. Hello to Lydia and Sue who hopped on. And if you think of any other things that I should have mentioned because of the, oh, I know. I've been thinking about this one all day too. For any of you who are local, I do have a couple spots left in my Stampin' Club. So with Stampin' Club, well, what normally happens is we get together once a month for a workshop, and you make 3 projects, and then everybody places a minimum $30 order. That's before shipping and taxes have been added on, and one person each month gets a turn to receive the host rewards. Now, with the COVID stuff going on, we are meeting in like either privately or like maybe a bubble of 2 or 3 with masks, quickly stamping our items, and then everybody's taking them home, and I'm doing a video so they know how to put it together. So keep that in mind, and spread the news if you're in the local area. Let people know that there's a club and there are some fun things to do, even though a lot of stuff around Moose Jaw and around the world has been canceled. Oh, Roz, I'm glad that you're enjoying your new machine. I really am liking mine too. It's awesome. And you know, I should just show you one quick thing. I thought this is so interesting. One of my demonstrator friends who lives in Ontario posted a picture. And if a picture, you know, is worth 1,000 words, this one is worth like 2,000 words. So she posted a picture of the Big Shot and then had a ruler or something and said, okay, at its widest point, basically here, the big shot is 3 3 1/8 inches wide at its widest point. And then she posted a picture of our new stamp and cut and emboss machine. And let me just pull these down, because that's how you'd run things through on your platforms there. And when I put it sideways like this, and you put the ruler across, yeah, look at that, 6 inches. So it's really got like a sturdy steel casing, and it's solid. So in case you've been wondering, oh, do you think it's a good one or not, it's well done. Stampin' Up did their homework. Okay, so on to creating. First of all, I'm gonna walk you through right from the beginning how I might make a bunch of cards, a stack of cards using the Stamparatus. So I've got some white cardstock. Today I'm using our extra thick Whisper White because this is going to be a tent fold card that stands up tall, and I want it to have some good solid footing. And so, gotta move my cutting blade out of the way, because that's a classic. I'll start to cut when I really need to score. The light gray blade here is the scoring blade. So I'm scoring at 5.5. And for today's cards, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to, instead of cutting them the paper exactly in half at 4 1/4, I'm going to cut my cards 4 inches wide. Can anybody guess why I might be cutting my card 1/4 inch? This is recycle. At least in my house it's recycle. I've saved some of those extra strips, but you can only save so much. Can anybody guess why we're making it 4 inches instead of 4 1/4 wide? And these are going to be tent cards that stand up like this. Just looking to see if anybody's got a guess. I'll give you a hint. It has something to do with designer paper. Is anybody wondering why did Shauna cut it at 4 inches instead of 4 1/4? Slim card. Well, that's a good guess. And you know, Pam, I've seen lots of people who have made those slim cards out there, and this isn't, I don't think this really qualifies as a slim card. But yeah, there's lots of those cards that are showing up online and whatnot. Here's the reason. It's because I'm cheap. Yes, okay, so as you know, yeah, I like to save money. So our designer paper is 12 inches by 12 inches. And so I can cut it into 4-inch strips. I can cut it into 1, 2, 3 4-inch strips. And then I'm going to cut it again at 3 inches. So I get a 4 by 3 inch piece of designer paper, and you can get 12 of these out of one 12-inch by 12-inch piece of designer paper. So that's it. That's just the use, because I am cheap and I want to get the most use to it. And I love this paper, this textured paper from the, oh, I've already forgotten it again. What's the name of it? In Good Taste, I think it is. I like this so much, and you only get, you know, 2 sheets of each design, so I wanted to use this and make it last for as much as I could. Yeah, 12 inches divided by 3, that's it. Yes, 3 strips, yeah. Okay, so, I'm just noticing I've got lots of shadows tonight. So, I am going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to glue this onto the bottom of my tall card here. Have I shown you my little glue holder? A stamping friend of mine named Karen gave me this, and I think she found it on Etsy. I think that's where she got it. And our Tombow Mono Multi-Liquid Glue fits perfectly in there. Isn't that great? Because I think she heard me tell some people that in the past I've used like shot glasses and things like that to hold my glue upside down so that it's always there ready to squeeze out at the tip. And I think she had got one for herself, and she ordered one for me too, and it's really handy dandy. Yeah. Okay. I bet you this was made by one of those 3D printers. Now that I look at it more closely, I think that's what it is. So if any of you, have a 3D printer, you could probably make something like that. I don't know how many people actually have those kinds of things, but all right. So gluing this to the bottom of the card. Ooh. I kind of went a little bit off with my papers hanging over the edge, but that's close. I can go back and trim more later. I also want a strip of cardstock to go across. Some of you who stamped with me at a card class 2 weeks ago might recognize the design of this card. The layout is very similar to one that we did for the peony class. There it is. There's the 4-inch wide, and I want it 3/4 of an inch by 4, something like that. And I'm just, for the moment, I'm just gonna tack this temporarily. Let's see. Oh, if I want to do it temporarily, I probably don't want my Stampin' Seal Plus, because the Seal Plus is going to make it really hold. If I want it more temporary, I am going to just get the regular Stampin' Seal. There. Did you notice I do a little bit of a check mark, like a little pull away from it, because that helps to break the glue. All right, and I'm going to place this about a halfway on and halfway off the designer paper, and yeah, just temporarily, because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to line up my stamps in the Stamparatus, and yeah, here we go. So I'm going to be making a bunch of these cards because I always need thank yous. So, and I like to send them out with my orders that people give me, and like when they order Stampin' Up! Stuff. And I want to be able to do a card that's pretty but is quick. So, because these are rubber stamps, I find that I get better results with the Stamparatus if I put our silicone sheet in there and just give it a little extra height. And I'm going to bump up my paper into the corner. You know, now that I think about it, because there's just that little bit of designer paper hanging over the edge, and this is not huge, but I don't want it to mess up what I'm going to do in the Stamparatus, because it won't let me bump it right up into the corner as tight as I probably could if I didn't have that piece of designer paper hanging off the edge. There we go, got it. Ooh, frays a little bit, but I can go back and pat that down later. Okay, so there we go, and that's just temporary. Yeah, this is clean. This stamp is, I'm just making sure, yeah, I did get it cleaned well. I want my flower to go approximately there. And something like that. Yeah. And then I want my words to stamp beside it approximately there. Now, I think I have to stand up and look down, just see if I need to maybe move a little bit this way. And a little bit down. Well, yeah, something like that. Okay, I gotta make sure, always make sure when you're using your Stamparatus that is always square and flush in the corner on both edges there in that L shape. Yeah, now I'm not going to stamp on my card right away. I'm just going to get, first of all, the general, yeah, that's the general area that I want to place things on. Now, this is the really hard part. Yeah, not hard at all. Just lift up your plate, lay it down, and it picks up your stamps. And now you've got them pretty much ready to go to stamp. But what I want to do is I want to double check and make sure that my words are not off, are not, you know, going at an angle, slanting up or down or diagonal or whatever. And I can kind of look with these grid lines that are etched into the plate here, into the clear plate. But depending on if I put the sticker on my stamp straight, they might not be necessarily straight. So I grabbed some scrap paper with lines, and I'm just going to lay that down here, and might be off of the camera, so I'll move over a little bit. It works really well to slide a stamp set underneath because it's at about the right height, so then that clear plate is level. You guys have seen this before. It's handy. Connie Stewart discovered this to open our brand new ink pads. If your fingers aren't small enough to twist and pop that open, you can take your thumbs, not at the very edges, but sort of 2/3 or 1/3 in on from either edge, and pop it open like that. Okay. And this is Rococo Rose. We're just checking. The main thing I want to check is to see that my words are not slanting off in too much of a direction. So I'm going to see how they do compare and how they're lined up compared to the lines here on my paper. So that's it. That's basically how the Stamparatus works. And whoa, that's pretty good. I mean, it might be a tad going slight up there at the edge, at the right end, but I'm happy with that. So, well, I can stamp this one right away. Oh, look at that. I didn't get my stamp cleaned off very well. Now that I see there's a little bit of a pink imprint there. Interesting. Okay, so ink, and whoop, stamp, and now that's not straight, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to go back and fix that after. If you were doing your flower in one color and your words in the other, there's another plate that can go right here in the top hinge, and so you could just stamp the flower, lift that up, and then stamp the word in a different color. And so the nice thing now is that, like I said, I like to have lots of thank you cards on hand. I've got, well, I'm not going to do a whole bunch here for the video tonight, but you can just see. All I just have to do is, as long as it is lined up in that corner along the two edges of the L, I can stamp cards really quickly. And if you love to send out Christmas cards, and you think, well, sending out, 20, 30, 40, I don't know how many Christmas cards you do, is too much, the Stamparatus is something that could really help you. Okay, so I'll just make this my last one. There, I will have already pre-stamped 3 cards. I find when I get ink on this clear plate, can you see the ink that I got? As long as you're not pushing in that area of the clear plate, it's staying above the paper. It usually doesn't get onto your cardstock. So that's handy to know. All right, so that Stamparatus has worked really hard and done a good job. So I'm going to move it and the ink pad off to the side. And let's see. I'll just throw this in here so I don't get ink all over my silicone sheet. There. All right. Now we're getting back to the card. And here's this one that I remember I temporarily adhered the strip of cardstock down, and I'll go back and I'll show you why I adhered it temporarily. I have well, it might not be new to some people, but it's not one that I've demonstrated in a long time. It's a new kind of a faux knot that some of you may like to see how it works. I got that beautiful, beautiful shimmery Snowflake Splendor ribbon. Is that what it's called, I think? Snowflake Splendor ribbon. Yes. Okay. And I'm going to have my ribbon with my faux knot go across this 4-inch length of cardstock. And what I discovered is to make this work, you have your paper length and then you add 4 more inches. So the paper is 4, and then I need to add another 4 inches. So I'm measuring off on my grid sheet, I'm measuring 8 inches of the shimmer ribbon. So there we go, 8 inches. And now I'm using my Wink of Stella because in a minute I'm also going to be using it on my flower. But you wouldn't necessarily need to use this for your tying, but it's handy, so that's what I'll use. You might have something else that's handy. And so I'm going to take and I'm going to tie my piece of shimmer ribbon around my Wink of Stella, but I'm going to try and make it so that one end is longer than the other, because I don't want my knot to be centered, exactly centered on the card. I want it to be off to one side a little. So this is where you can be not perfect. And it's just a knot, you know, right over left, left over right, however you do a knot. And I try to make my pieces of my ribbon kind of lay flat as I'm tying it all around, get those pieces all laying down as best as I can. Ooh, you know what? I may have gotten too close to the edge. Well, we'll see how this works, and I have one that's already made and you can compare the difference. Okay, so here we go. We're going to slide this off. Now, next part. Here, we're going to adhere this to the cardstock, and I think the easiest way is just to put a glue dot at either end of the ribbon. You could use other adhesive too, but I think this is easiest. 1, 2. Okay, is that gonna? Yep, grabbed it. Come off with the ribbon. Good. All right, and oh, you know what? I'm gonna put a glue dot underneath the knot too. Glue dot under the knot. There we go, because that'll help to hold it in place. And there. And I'm going to wrap one end, glue dot it down. Elaine says she does about 55 Christmas cards. I believe you, Elaine. Yeah, you are the card making queen of the world, I think. And Denise says, I really need to use that tool. The Stamparatus is what I'm guessing you're talking about, Denise. And boy, it can really help with, well, doing multiples. And then also the hinge stamping, which I probably should demonstrate another day. Okay, so we're almost done with the faux knot. So you've got a little loop there. I like to cut my faux knot at an angle so that each edge is, you can see this ribbon is it's almost wiry the way it it can stand and hold it. So you kind of have to take and curl the ribbon back down, get some of that wiriness out of it. Yeah, there you go. Isn't that a neat faux knot? Just tying around something small like a Wink of Stella. And I'm going to adhere this to the card, and you know, I think I'm going to get out the liquid glue for this. I want to make sure that this does not come off ever. Liquid glue is pretty strong. Saturday, my plan is when I do my coffee break stamping, I'm going to show you some things about adhesives. And this is a really good one if you need something to be super strong, say if you're putting boxes together and whatnot. Okay, and there we go. And I should probably just hold it for a couple seconds. Isn't that shimmery ribbon just so, I don't even know if that's coming through really well on the video all that much. It is just, the way the light shines on it is spectacular. Like, it's iridescent. It's so beautiful. Oh, Elaine, I'm glad you like the ribbon tip. Oh, Pam's a good night. Yes, it's late where you're from. Yeah, yes. Oh, yeah, we can catch up another time. Have a great day tomorrow. Take care, Pam. All right, and since we've got the Wink of Stella out, Wink of Stella is just basically, it's a clear, sparkly pen. And now I'm just going to, and again, this may not show up so well. Oh, there, can you hear the little shaker balls there? This may not show up so well on the video, but when you get it in just the right light, this creates a little bit of sparkliness and shimmer to the paper. And sometimes the Wink of Stella actually might even dissolve a little bit of the ink so that it might push some of that pink into the petals, just a slight bit. It doesn't dissolve it very much, but just it might give it a little bit of a pinkish haze in places. So there we go. There is my, oops, I should be holding that maybe a little bit longer. There is my just a note, and I'll see, my lighting is not so great today, but trust me, when the light hits it right, it is a very sparkly and pretty flower, and goes nicely with a really sparkly and pretty ribbon. Oh boy, yeah, I can hardly wait till I get more of that and use it in some of my classes. So, oh, it does look really shimmery. I'm glad that it's coming through for you guys too. Oh, yeah, there's the two Elaines again. I'm saying Elaine, and there's two of them. I have to say Elaine B and Elaine M. So, hey, you know, Sue, I just see what you said. You use your Stamparatus almost every time you stamp. Sue, is that, do you follow, I think you do, you follow Mary Fish. She's one of the amazing demonstrators in the United States. She uses her Stamparatus almost exclusively. Like, she does not use clear blocks. She is like a perfect, amazing stamper, and she lines up everything on the Stamparatus, and yeah, that's how she makes all of her cards. I was amazed to hear that when she was telling us on a video one day. So, well, that's my Stamparatus card that I have to share for you tonight, and the Faux knot. If you have any questions about the September specials and things that I was telling you about, please give me a shout. And if you enjoyed the video, feel free to share it with a friend. And if you know someone who might enjoy being part of Stampin' Club here in the Moose Jaw area, give them my name. I'd love to hear from them. And oh yes, Mary Fish does wonderful work. All these comments that I see are just delayed and coming through. And yeah, if any of you have not heard of Mary Fish, trying to think of what her tagline is that she goes by. Stampin' Pretty is the name of her business. Stampin' Pretty Mary Fish. You really need to check her out because she does amazing work, and a lot of her cards are not difficult at all. They're simple and beautiful. In fact, I could almost call this a Mary Fish card because it's kind of simple and shiny and pretty. So, oh yes, thanks Glenda, and thanks so much for all of those who have stopped by tonight. Have a great week. Don't blow away if you live in Saskatchewan, and we'll talk to you another day. Bye for now.